Many households turn to wood and charcoal because it is cheap. Often, they use the traditional cooking stove, which generates a lot of smoke and soot. Over the years, improved cook stoves have been introduced into the market, which save up to 50% of the fuel used. So, this means that they use less charcoal to cook and are exposed to less smoke and soot. The secret lies in the design of the stoves, which include metal and clay on the inside. There is also a metallic outer lining, which is made to hold and protect the inner linings. To make an insulator, a mixture including traditional soil and sawdust is made.
You have to have a good proper proportions of mica and sawdust in order for the fuel savings to be the highest. So if you just put mica, you're not going to succeed so well, and if you just have sawdust, you're not going to succeed either. So this is something that's been tested for years now, and people who make stoves know the right proportions of each.
The sawdust creates aeration holes in the mixture when it is compacted together. The mixture is then put into the metallic casing where it is lined. The charcoal tray is also laid inside, but space is left for the insulating mixture. It is then that the finishing is done and left to dry.
So the more heat that you can keep close to the pot, the more likely that heat is to go into the pot. So that's why we use the materials we do, because they retain the heat close to the cooking pot. We even have a very specific slant, a very specific angle on the top of the stove, and that also helps to reflect the heat back into the stove, as opposed to it just going away off into the air.
The stoves are painted to give them a good look, and a serial number is attached to the stoves. Now, unlike the traditional cooking stoves, now the beauty about these newly improved stoves is that some of them are registered to earn you carbon credits. But this only happens if you sign an agreement, which in exchange gets you a warranty and a stove that comes at a lowered price.
Your individual stove is counted with its serial number and is checked, were you using it this year? If you were, your stove will earn maybe 3 carbon credits. But by the time you try to find a buyer for those carbon credits, you will have spent a lot of time and money. So an organization that registers with us brings all of your community's carbon credits together and sells it on the international market.
Now the carbon credits are sold on the international market for between $10 and $15 a ton, and each stove could earn up to 80,000 Ugandan shillings a year from using it to cook. But how does cooking using an improved stove translate into carbon credits?
Last year, for instance, a woman was using a very inefficient Jiko. It was creating a lot of pollution, burning a lot of charcoal. This year she uses an improved charcoal stove, using half the charcoal, very little pollution, half the pollution, and the difference between those two levels is translated into carbon credits that she and her organization can sell on the international carbon markets.
The stoves, however, tend to be a bit more expensive than a traditional cooking stove because of the cost of materials used to make them, with the smallest going for 15,000 shillings. Craig Kadoda, NTV Uganda.